My Pokemon collection that I bought purely for my own enjoyment has gone up over 384% or over 2.5K in the last year by itself, which is crazy. I used to play Pokemon as a kid. I used to play the vintage sets as a kid, and I bought these because I just thought the art looked really, really cool. And the Pikachu's really cute. The 151 Charizard's like has an awesome art to it, and that's literally the only reason why I bought it. Not to make any money, just because I really enjoyed Pokemon and I really enjoyed the hobby. So I'm gonna kind of go through each of my cards in my portfolio, these 5 cards, and I'll show you exactly what I did to basically make this sort of gain within a year, which is again insanely crazy. The very, very first card I bought was the 151 Charizard, and I bought it at a CGC 9.5. And I said, hey, might as well give it a shot. Maybe I can regrade it for a higher price, because at the time I didn't want to pay 1K for a PSA 10 Charizard, right? I thought that was like way too much money. So I was like, worst comes worst, it comes back to PSA 9. It retains pretty much some of its value because it's the same price as a raw card at the time. And I figured it was like a might as well, like I didn't know anything about the hobby. I didn't know that much about the Pokemon world as it was today for the modern sets. And I said, might as well. And luckily, I got a PSA 10 back, which basically immediately increased the value to $1,000 at the time. And again, this is just for my personal collection. I had no intention of selling it or doing anything with it. And I was like, okay, awesome. I made a gain of around $650 right off the bat. And now, since 151 has stopped printing, the value has increased a ton. So you can see that my initial cost was around $400. Now the card's worth around $2,000. That's a profit of 1.6K and an unrealized gain of 120%, which again is crazy. The next card is this Jungle Pikachu. I literally have no idea why it's increased so much in value. I got this card because I thought it looked really cute and derpy, basically. Like it's just like a little Pikachu derp, right? I bought it again, not caring about the price too much. I was just looking for Pokemon cards that were probably like less than $300 that I, really like the art for and could enjoy. And this is for my personal collection. If anyone knows why in the comments this Jungle Pikachu has skyrocketed in price in like the last couple months, please let me know. But the current valuation of this, if you look at like recently sold on eBay, is around $1,000, which is $830 in profit, or an unrealized gain of 590%, literally within. Well, I mean, I bought this in last year's summer, so even less than a year, which again is crazy. The third card I bought was a Surfing Pikachu from XY Evolutions. Again, just buying it because I thought it looked really cute. I just really like the art for it. I bought it for $54. Right now, it's worth around $250. I think the price is kind of crazy. I've seen some listings on eBay for $500, but the price fluctuates pretty rapidly. I'm really surprised because this has a fairly high population, but I made a profit of $200, where the current valuation I would say is around 250 in unrealized gains. So that would make an unrealized gains of 456%, which again is crazy. The card's just really cute. I like how it looks, and just from our personal collection. And then the fourth card I bought was this Flying Pikachu, which pairs really well in the XY Evolution set. Bought this for $42, and right now I would say it's worth around 250, give or take. That's a profit around $200 and an unrealized gain of 590%. Again, crazy, like really, 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 really crazy. You can see that the grading cost is around $30, right? And then so this guy basically just got maybe an extra $10 on top of opening the pack itself. But yeah, maybe I just have good taste and people like the same card. I don't know why it appreciated so much, but really, really happy that it did. Super grateful that it did. Really enjoyed it in my personal collection. And then the last card I bought for my personal collection is this Supreme Victor's Articuno. again, I just really, really like the art. At the time, I was looking through like the Japanese versions, and I think there's like an airline version of it as well. I bought the CGC version because it was pretty cheap, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll grade it, see if it goes up, see if it goes down. Again, not thinking about the price at all. It basically got a PSA 8, retained the same value, and the total cost was around 250, including grading. And the current value is there's very low liquidity for this card. So right now it sits around 250 to 350. I see some listings on eBay right now for 600, 500, but I think that's just because there's so low liquidity, people are putting like really high prices for it. For now, I'll just say this is an unrealized gain of 0. Again, I have no intention of selling it. I don't know what the unrealized profit is, but you can see in aggregate, it's sort of crazy that the Pokemon market is still this bullish and like this continually raising in prices across the board. And I'm really curious to hear what you guys all have to think about it. Basically, this is a chart of my portfolio, right? You can see I basically bought these cards around like, March, April, June of last year, purely just for my own collection because I thought the art was really cool. And now I inputted maybe a cost of around $900, and now it's worth around 3.5K, which again is crazy. And the actual value of this is probably lower because if you resell it, you have to take a cut based on taxes, or if you sell on eBay, there's like the fee and shipping. And even if you go to a vendor convention, right, they're only going to pay maybe like 80 to 85% of the market value. So take that with a grain of salt. This is unrealized, so I haven't sold anything yet because it's my personal collection. And yeah, just keep that in mind. I'm curious for you out there, how much has your Pokemon collection appreciated? Again, I'm not like an avid collector. I'm not really like going out there trying to make a lot of money on this. I just was really curious about um, like this whole process. And so far, I've learned a lot about the Pokemon world and the card world. Um, Given the fact that this has appreciated so much, I figured that I might as well start my Pokemon investing journey and like really actually put some real money into it and see if it actually works out or not as an experiment. So I'm gonna dedicate roughly $5,000 to Pokemon cards, and I'm going to keep it. I'm not gonna like try to resell it or flip it and stuff like that. I'm gonna try to find it on Facebook Marketplace or try to find it in a store and just like keep it and see what happens. If you're interested in that next episode, let me know. But this is an experiment for not only me, but for everyone watching to see if Pokemon really is a good investment long term. So far in the last year, it's outperformed the stock market, the real estate market, gold, high-end jewelry, Rolex watches, etc., which is again insanely crazy. But if you're interested in seeing what happens, feel free to follow along, and I'll give you guys an update as I've already started buying some sealed boxes of Ascendant Evolutions, Prismatic Evolutions and Ascended Heroes that just came out. And I'm also buying some singles here and there. But I'll give you an update within like the next 1 or 2 weeks just to show you where I'm at in terms of my overarching budget and spend. But if you're curious, join the journey. So please like and subscribe if you want to see more content and you want to see where this goes. I'm really, really curious to hear what you guys think in the comments. Do you think this is all just hype and, made up imaginary value? Or do you think that, there is real value here and the Pokemon market will still keep going up? Or do you think that we're due for like a Pokemon crash in the near future? But please like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed the content.